All right, we getting some new sauce. You are getting sauce that will change your perspective on life and probably regret playing this game. So, we've talked about this a lot, where we talked about all the different buckets that exist in New World, right? And how everything is multiplied together. And that multiplication is what results in damage, and your effects that reduce damage are also in this. Buckets. Yep, exactly. We got all our buckets here. They're all multiplying together. I think we've had this conversation plenty of times now. The thing that was important before is there were a few of these buckets that were very, very OP. This bucket right here, this ABS bucket, this is your gem bucket. This was considered to be your most broken bucket in the game. It is no longer the most broken bucket in the game. We have discovered something better than ABS in terms of damage mitigation. And it's really, really gross. The stream buffers? Can you guys hear it now, or is it good? We good? We good? Okay, did you guys hear the thing about ABS, or did you not? This was the most important bucket. This was really, really, really OP. It still is really, really OP, but we have another really, really OP bucket. We back? Okay, sweet. Yo, is it Icarus? Thank you for the Team 1 sub. I appreciate it. You heard ABS? Yeah. So this was the most important bucket. This is now the most important bucket, this bottom one. And I want to go through this. This is the equation for that bottom bucket, and it is really, really gross and really, really hard to understand, to the point where New World Buddy breaks it up into different things because it's too hard to understand. They're like, okay, we have this really, really weird gross factor, and we have this really, really weird gross factor, except this is a lot less gross. This part here is the broken part. And I think people that were on stream the other day saw why it was broken. I'll give you guys a hint here and see if anyone can notice this. This is my war set now. And I am not abusing the full potential of this bug. You'll notice here, I have gone for the lowest possible Gearscore Ice Gauntlet. I am purposely tanking my gear score. It turns out, when you tank your gear score, you reduce damage. You also deal less damage, but you reduce damage very, very, very significantly to the point where you're borderline invincible. And the reason why AGS didn't think about this before is because everyone was like, okay, if we reduce our damage, we reduce our armor scaling. But you don't have to reduce your armor scaling. You can just reduce your weapons, that reduces your damage, and you become more tanky. So what this lets you do is any support class effectively gets buffed from this. Anything that runs low gear score on your jewelry effectively gets buffed from this. It turns out that even if you reduce your armor gear score, you effectively end up with more mitigation from this, because the gear score matters more than the armor value that you gain from the gear score increase. And what this results in you basically having is borderline invincibility, and this is not something that I just figured out alone too. I have to add Jordan figured this out, and I kind of bandwagoned on top of that and like added a little bit more to it. And the reason why I have to say this to you guys is because people are abusing this in PvP now. So Jordan is the big shout out here, because Jordan looked at this equation and was like, wait a second, I understand what this means. And I looked at that and was like, that is a big scary number. I don't really want to think about that. We're going back to 2021. So if there were 80 kills a war before, like there's normally 80 assists a war, I expect after this change, there will be about 40, maybe 60 at the high end. This affects war. This affects open world. Anything without gear score scaling, this is going to affect and effectively break the game in. Any support class just got a really, really big buff. Any tank class just got way tankier. Any IGVG just got way tankier. Any flail class just got way tankier. Any healer class just got way tankier. And for healers, you don't even take a healing decrease. You take a damage decrease, but you don't take a healing decrease. Yeah, that's why I say it doesn't matter for OPR, but this influences war and this influences open world a lot. But support and tank classes though, right? Yeah, exactly. So any support class, any tank class, I consider tanks to be supports and healers to be like kind of a different thing at this point, because they don't really have utility, they just heal, and that's most of their utility. Those classes, depending on how far you take this, got significantly tankier. This is a graph of the mitigation. This is like, if you were doing this right now at 700% gear score, this would be like the same mitigation as before. And as you get lower, you get more and more tanky. If you ran this and you had the same armor, which is impossible, at like 5 gear score, you would take like basically no damage. Like you would take 25% of the normal damage you do on the live right now. The lowest I have gotten to with my gear is about 580, which, let me move you guys over a little bit so the chat doesn't cover it. 580 gear score is roughly a 20% damage decrease from live. So this wouldn't be good for Bruiser? No, this is not good for Bruiser. Your detonate damage, I don't believe, is nerfed, but all your other types of damage is nerfed. So why aren't they fixing this? That's why I had to bring it up. I have brought this to AGS's attention, along, like, with the help of Jordan. Again, shout out to Jordan. But they have decided this is not a priority issue and does not need to be fixed. And because people are abusing this in PvP, I have to bring it to your guys' attention so that more people use this so this actually gets fixed. I am also sorry because the meta, until they fix this, is likely going to be completely fucked. It is actually optimal for like a support class to use a VG like this. This is optimal. You may not like it, but this is what survivability looks like. If I use like a VG like this, it tanks my gear score down to 570, which then effectively makes me like 20% tankier. And that 20% multiplies on everything else. So this is like the effectiveness of having 20% gem resistance to everything. Go do it in an OPR. It's not. It doesn't really work in OPR because everything gets scaled up to 675, right? But this works in war, and I've used it in war, and it's a cheat code. It is literally a cheat code. This doesn't apply to Greatsword, or does it? No. It also reduces your damage, right? Because this affects both your damage and the damage you take. If you lower your defensive gear score, that's also going to lower your weapon gear score probably, and it's going to lower your attacker gear score. So this is roughly going to decrease your damage by 2 times the amount of resistance that you get. So if I have 20% more resistance, I'm going to have like 40% less damage. And that's not including also, like if I run like this, like you see how it says like 156? Under 56, it's like a lot lower. Well, I guess it's not that much lower than 196. Or no, wait, no, I read that wrong. It's 156 versus like 590, right? So it's like very, very, very significantly lower. But if you don't care about damage and all you care about is utility, or if you only care about healing and you do not care about your damage, which should be every healer in the game, this is a straight buff to your class to run lower gear score things. So the thing I want to bring it back to is there was a guy a while ago named Blake, and every healer memed on Blake. Blake ran something that everyone considered to be wrong at the time. Blake ran a 350 Gearscore refreshing rapier. Blake actually took less damage than everyone else at the time. Anyone that was using this was actually on the right tech, and I would not be surprised if healers migrate back over to this. So, final shout out to someone there, but that is how we break the game, and I need you guys to, if you can, I'm probably gonna put a video out about this. I need AGS to fix this shit because it's gonna break the game. Because every player is gonna be taking 20% less damage. Yeah, Lagoon, I leaked it. You're not alone anymore. Bro's ahead of his time. He was way ahead of his time.